Hey, everybody. Welcome to World Outside the Ring. This is Gabe, aka The Other Guy. And yeah, I want to, check in with you again on this beautiful Wednesday. It's getting hot, ain't it? Yep. Yeah, let me just make sure everything's good here. Yeah. So, I'm going to be talking today about the news that we just heard that the Will and Grace reboot is officially canceled. It's going to have its last season coming up, season two, and yeah, that's that. Yeah, I was both, I'm both disappointed, but also pleasantly surprised because, I was telling my boyfriend this, and he's like, well, a lot of reboots actually don't get a second season. So, if we're going to be really blunt about it, so yeah, it did get a second season. It's just that's going to be it. I'm kind of glad about that. I also know that let's be real. Sometimes, we've talked about this on the show. Sometimes, our favorite shows when they do reboots or spin-offs, spin-offs especially, they're just not as good as before. And it's very hard to recapture the same magic. In this case, it's a reboot, so that is different. It's same characters, same actors. I think they've been, I have not watched the full first season. I watched, up until the last, couple, three or four episodes. So I haven't seen it all, but I feel like they were doing a very good job. So that's the part of me that's also like disappointed about this. And because they're great actors. That show did change, really change America. That was one of the main, people look back, it's one of the main things that, along with all the activism, along with all the, news reports and psychologists actually changing their minds, that really did change attitudes towards gay people. So yeah. And they were fantastic. It's fantastic that they all were able to, to come back just as strong, even 10 years later, even in a very different era, and yeah, especially the actors being so let's be real, so much older than they were. They all look fabulous still. Deborah Messing hasn't seemed to age a day. Good for her. The guy who plays Jack is a little, a little bit more wrinkles on the face. Whatever. He will not like that I said that. And sorry, sorry, my friend. But it's tough. I was gonna say it's more tough for gay men, but actually it's probably tougher for women to keep their face the way they do. But so many, celebrities manage it. Let's also talk about that. Jennifer Aniston is 50. 50, can you believe it? And there was a photo going around of her in this beautiful wavy but also skimpy dress, and yeah, she looks fantastic. She looks just the way she used to do on Friends, which that's basically 20 years old now, or 20 years or more old. It ended in 2005, but started in 1995, so that's over 20 years old. Let's see, and then then the list just keeps going. Nicole Kidman, very beautiful on Big Little Lies, now, I mean, let's not forget Madonna. Madonna, just I know a lot of you out there might not like her, but but she really is an icon, in that she has kept this going. You might not agree that her, you might think her old music is where it's at and her new music sucks, or vice versa. but she has kept a very similar look for such a long time, and she's actually 60. I want to say 60 years old. Cher, Cher must, there's a joke. Cher must have made a deal with the devil or something, because she's 70 years old and still just completely stunning. Michael and I watched the new Mamma Mia, where Cher is a pivotal character, and yeah, I mean it really is stunning. It really is stunning, and she's still putting it. She just put out new music, as far as I understand. Madonna definitely did. Madonna's been doing these tours. Whether or not you agree with the invite only thing, which I kind of don't, but it's her right, as as the original, as the OG. And she's claimed her spot as such. I love Gaga. I mean, I love me some Gaga, but she did put Gaga in her place a little bit with that song "Two Steps Behind Me." No matter what, you'll always be two steps behind me. So, yeah, I don't know how these celebrities do it, except for that they have the best. They can afford the best cosmetic products, the best nutritionists, trainers, whatever. So yeah, they still look great. They still defy their age, and yeah, good for them. Good for them. So but obviously, yeah, things change a lot, and and basically something like Will and Grace, they had to change with the times. There's a whole episode about how the guys are how the guys have to struggle with picking up younger guys, and what that entails. Jack was trying to keep the lights low the whole time to try and fool this one guy, and then yeah, Will was worried that the younger guy that he was dating was was just too out of touch for him, and yeah, he ended up, instead of them hooking up, they ended up having he ended up having a queer history, like, impromptu lesson, and he said that's when the lights went out in Georgia. Anyway, so yeah, they have to find new themes, new ways of doing it. Will talked about how Grindr has become so different. I feel like I'm slutty just just touching the screen on it, that type of thing. But yeah, anyway, it's the times do change, and these beloved actors do get older, and but even if they defy age physically, and so unfortunately, that's a lot of times it means the death of one thing to make way for something else, and that's what's constantly happening. I think we're having, I'm going to just say in general, we're having a heartache. I think a lot of us, about a lot of things leaving right now. A lot of people dying right now. Every day there's a new famous person, that stamped their name on society, that really contributed, that's dead. It was just recently what's her name? Carol Burnett. I'm sorry if that's not her, but someone who who was instrumental in early TV. And let's see, there's also, oh yeah, the actress who played the spoiled girl in the original Willy Wonka. I forget her name and whatever, but I saw plenty of articles, the last 2 weeks about how she's died now. She's died at 79, I think. So that will continue to happen, and then with TV shows, they'll continue to go out of style or be canceled or whatever. And yes, it's heartbreaking, and yes, you might feel like nothing will ever be the same after that. But things will move forward. There will be something to take their place, and there will be people to take their place, and there will be new shows, new ideas to take their place. We're living in a golden age of television, and not and in television now that includes Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Video, what have you. So that's a whole new that's a bunch of new platforms, new mediums to watch these things in. So yeah, we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that that's also TV, because a lot of these things are up for Emmys. Schitt's Creek on Netflix. I haven't seen it yet, but I want to, because that guy from all the from the Waiting for Guffman, and Best in Show and all those movies. He's in it, and I forget another great actress, timeless actress, is in it. And so yeah, that's up for an Emmy. The Handmaid's Tale, fantastic series that I can't wait to continue. That's actually, that won, I believe, 2, if not 3 Emmys, the other year. And yeah, it will just continue these things, and that's the ultimate of being accepted as part of TV. That's accepted as part of TV. If you win an Emmy, that's the point of an Emmy. An Emmy is a television award. So the fact that these things are winning television awards, shows that they actually are part of television now. And Miss Maisel, you might not know, but the marvelous Miss Maisel, about a woman stand-up comic back in the 50s. It's fictional, but it is based on a real person. And yeah, that also won an Emmy or 2 the other year, and it's possible it can win more next year, next season. So all that stuff shows that there is much more TV to be had, much more TV. So even though heartaches for Will and Grace, and it had a good run, and it had a good rerun, shall we say, a good revival. And yeah, I actually don't know if it would be that great to continue, anyway. So we've talked about in fighting, sometimes it's best for the legends to step down when they're at their peak, or at least had another good fight, even if they're not at their peak. Better to step down then, and have us remember them that way. So it's kind of the same with these actors, with these TV shows. Let's remember them fondly. Let's let them solidify their legacy, and then we will move on. We will move on. So yeah, that's my whole word on that. Yeah, keep watching the great shows that are out there, and click like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time, fight fans.